When was the last time that you actually went into your email list provider? And if you have probably like a free opt in where somebody can get, for example, a free checklist or a free guide on how to start using Pinterest for your business, it's one of them that I have. It does this automation, if you've never done this before, where you automatically get the freebie in your inbox, you get following emails afterwards. So I've been doing this for years, but in today's podcast, I'm going to be sharing the big mistake that I was making that was making no sense to me, and I'm like, oh my god, like I did such a big mistake that I want you to avoid. So we're going to be going into email marketing, the mistakes to avoid. I've been pretty diligent about everything except for this one thing that bit me in the butt. So I don't want you to have to go through that. So because of that, I decided to do this episode. So with that, let's get started and let's go ahead and jump into this today. So first, I always get questions on, Celeste, what email provider do you choose? So first, let me tell you what I've used. I've used in the past Kajabi, ConvertKit, MailChimp. Who else have I used? And, well, my regular Gmail. What else? What other email actual provider have I used? And the last one that I've used recently since like 2019 or 18, no, I think it was in 2019 that I decided to jump in and do it, was Flowdesk. So yes, I am affiliated with Flowdesk, but before I even say that, I don't care if you don't go into Flowdesk. Like the tips I'm going to give you today help you with whatever email provider that you have. I just really love Flowdesk because it looks pretty. I'm all about aesthetics. If you ever come into my house or you've been into my home, like I like stuff very simple, warm, welcoming, and right now I have lots of grays going on in my house. Like it's the gray area. I always change the color depending where I'm living at. So right now it's all about the grays and blues. So aesthetics are a very important part of who I am as a person, and my email has to be that way. Flowdesk has amazing templates no matter what you use. If they have templates and they make you be consistent, it's going to help you. That's why I love Flowdesk so much, is because it helps me with consistency. Delivering even this email on the podcast of like, hey, my new podcast just dropped. It's made real simple by having those systems in place. So I really love Flowdesk for that reason. So first, let's go into like the 5 things that you should not be doing. And I'll go my number 6 is going to be like the big mistake I made, okay? So number 1, what should you not be doing? Your aesthetic or vibe, okay? Because I feel when people think of brand, I know we're starting to learn your personality, your essence, the feeling of it, the smells, all that stuff, right? But that's why I don't really like using the word brand. So let's think about aesthetics, okay? So when you do your emails, make sure that the aesthetics match your business, right? So I have a certain vibe for my business, and it has to be matching to that. Like I told you, I like clean, minimalist, like everything kind of coordinated, but warm and welcoming. So my emails have to feel that way. What you do not want to do is like to have like a whole bunch, like a total separate, like I could have a dark and moody email that I send out to my list, but then all of my stuff I have everywhere is all like warm and welcoming, right? That would be like so opposite of what my business is. It creates confusion. So that's why I really think number 1 is don't make the mistake of having a different aesthetic in between both of them. So make sure that that's cohesive. Okay. So same feel aesthetics of it to your business. Okay. Number 2 is, this was one of my biggest mistakes I made in the beginning when I started emailing, and why I really feel a lot of people can't be consistent, and it held me back for a long time, is that I felt I had to be professional and not have any typos. I refuse to go get tested. I know maybe I'm dyslexic, or I know there's something off, okay, with me, but who cares? I'm 38 years old, too late. I don't care. I don't need to know. But I create typos all the time, and sometimes my thinking is faster than my typing. So actually like 80% of the time. So you can expect typos in my emails. And I held myself back so much because I thought I had to be professional like everybody else, and my emails had to look like everybody else's. So don't hold yourself back with your voice thinking that you have to be like everybody else. So don't hold back because, oh my gosh, I have to be professional. What am I going to talk about? And my punctuation, like forget that. It's more important that you're out there actually connecting with your people than to be worried about oh, it has to be perfectly done and aesthetic and professional. Like people want to do in business with you, and people want to get to know you, the real you, what makes you you. Typos make me real, and I'm sorry if that really annoys people, but it is what it is. It's like a thing I am, and I just let it go. So quit letting that perfectionism hold you back of like it has to be perfect. Do C plus work. Like all the stuff I put out is C plus. You ain't gonna get a B or A from me because that would take me 3 months to do one thing at a time. So that's why I'm like, you know what? I need to do C plus work. I'm happy with it. It helps me, and I hope that helps you too. Okay, so we talked about aesthetics so far. We talked about, holding yourself back because you have to sound professional or be professional without any typos. So number 3, it would be you do not have to communicate in the way that you think email has to be. So let me go explain into that. If writing is not your biggest strong point, which is a little for me, I think, because of my typos and my brain, video or audio can be a way you can deliver. So if you're part of my email list and you're listening to this podcast, go check out your email. In today's email, you can see that I put a link there to this podcast. So it's an audio delivery, and all the wording that's in that email is very minimal because in today's email, I decided to really focus on the value of my voice of this podcast, right? And you can do the same. Maybe you can you're like, okay, Celeste, that sounds awesome. I want to communicate with my clients via voice, but how can I do that if I don't have a podcast like you? Well, my friend, there's this amazing thing called voice memos on your phone. And did you know that you can email them or share them on your email provider? So you do not need to have a podcast. How cool is that? So if you like sending voice memos instead, like that's your vibe, do that. Okay. So like, don't hold yourself back because you think you have to do just audio or it has to be all written to be professional in email. You can also utilize video if that's what you like to do. So get creative with that. Okay, number 4, like the big mistake to make is automation is never checking it. We're going to go a little bit deeper on that in a little bit, but if you're going to automate things, do not put a date on it. This is what I mean. When you automate things, so let's say, for example, what you do is like you automate emails when they're going to be sent out when somebody signs up to your email list. Okay, for example, if you put like, oh, today is, this November of 2022, the likelihood of you going back to that automation, it may take a couple years. Okay, maybe it took Celeste 2 years and nobody told her that the automations were super old. I also had a lot of typos. It was when I was barely beginning to really get into email. There was so many things wrong with those automation emails. I mean, I honestly, like, it makes sense. Like, I won't go into that right now, but do not put your year. Don't put the date. Don't put that it's fall. Don't put that it's summer unless you're seriously a type A personality that you're going to be checking those automations every month. Don't do it. Learn from my mistake. So if you're going to automate your emails, do not put a date on there. Don't put the year. Don't put the date. Don't put the season. Okay. Unless you're going to be super good about it, just don't do it. Okay, lastly, number 5 is to just make sure that you go from time to time and check your automations. So something that you can do with Flowdesk and, whatever email provider that you use is you can add your Instagram handle. The problem with that is like sometimes your Instagram will glitch, as we know, like, Instagram has been down a couple of times and it disconnects from the automation. So then when people see, like, for example, more from the gram underneath, there's like blank boxes with nothing because the disconnection happened from Instagram coming down. It happened to me already 3 times. So I've decided to remove that part because it's annoying and I don't think it looks pretty and that really bugs me. So if you're going to be doing automations like that where it shows your YouTube or it shows your Facebook page or it shows your Instagram or whatever social media platform that you like, be very mindful that that could happen. So keep an eye on that. I just decided to skip it all together because I'm tired of having to deal with that. So that is my main thing. Okay, so now let's go into the big mistake that I do not want you to do. And I'm going to be super candid about this. So let me get comfortable in my sofa. Woo! Okay, let's talk. The big mistake I made with email marketing was with my automation. And these are the takeaways that I had from it. So what happened is that I was sending out this automation, but in the email it said 2022 in the final email. We're in 2024, okay? And what happened is that I really loved this one email that I had created in 2022 and I copied it, but I didn't edit the year. And so it caused this whole thing. And so I want you to start thinking how this is going to affect your business if this happened to you. And I'm going to be honest and tell you really what happened with me, okay? What happened to my business. So with that automation, it has to do with like the Beauty Pro side of my business. And something that happened is that people were getting that email, okay? So it's automated. So they got the 2022, that it says 2022 an email. And there was also like a fall email that was in that automation. And the weird thing, well, we'll go over the pros in a little bit, but the bad thing that happened is like, number one, people know that now it's an automation. So that's why I say don't put any years. Number two, the fall thing, we're not in fall right now. We're going into spring. So people know that it's not like real, like in place. And number three, it was super embarrassing because how embarrassing is that, right? It made a tech thing, but like, hey, we're human. It's going to happen. I'm talking about it on the podcast. And number four, it was such a big takeaway for me. So I want to tell you the good things because I always like to start with the bad because the good lessons out of this is amazing. And I want to take a moment to pause and ask you, have you ever made a mistake in your business, in your marketing? Because I made one. And rather than beating myself up and keeping it or putting it under the rug and hiding it so nobody can see it, I am here on the podcast sharing it with you. Because it's going to happen and I want you to avoid the mistakes because we already went over that. But if it happens to you, this is how you recover from it, okay? Recovery is so important. So this got me into like, I need to look at all my automations. So it got me to clean up my automations. I went through every single email and made sure that it sounded like me. And if it had the typos, there were typos that were up to date for 2024, for Celeste 2024. And I also deleted emails that no longer were in alignment with me, or like the wording wasn't no longer in alignment with me. I really simplified it. And this may not sound like a lot, but when you have 16 opt-ins, yes, I have 16. I know it's a lot. It took 4 hours of my day yesterday. And I started thinking like, oh my gosh, this is so much work. But you know what? That's how I've been growing my email list. So it's worth it. Sometimes it's going to take to automate your business. It's going to take work in the back end, but you're going to feel so much better. Today I woke up like so refreshed and light. I'm like, thank God that's over, right? So that was a good thing. The other thing that I learned is look at your analytics, okay? So it's really important that you look at your analytics in your email. That's what I got out of this. I'm like, I'm going to go look at my numbers. And my email list has been growing significantly, and I've been doing some couple of things that have been different because I really want to grow it this year. That's one of my goals, to reach to a certain goal on that email list. And what I've noticed with my email list is that there are things that are working better than others, which was awesome. Sometimes like maybe you go on a podcast, or maybe you do a local event, or, like you're offering your opt-in on social or somewhere else, or you're doing something different. I always test things. That's why I have 16 opt-ins. And I know it may sound like a lot. You do not have to do this, okay? I've been emailing people since 2019, okay? So I am years into this, but I want to be transparent with you what I'm doing. I always create an opt-in for each event. So that's why the hell would you do that much work? Because with Flowdesk, you just literally duplicate it, and then I can just edit the wording. It lets me know who opted in. It lets me know what I got out of that event. And you may be like, oh, Celeste, that sounds so selfish. You're asking and you're telling yourself, like, what did you get out of that event? Why are you going to give your time, your valuable time that you will never get back, into things that are not helping your business or helping you grow? Is my question to you. And only you know the answer for that. I know for me, my time is very valuable. I have 3 kids. I go to 3 school drop-offs, okay? Plus the business and everything else I do in my business. As you can imagine, I do have a very busy lifestyle, but you hear that quietness? I really treasure my quietness in my day. I have that quietness at least 4 times out of the week. And it's really part of my well-being and part of my happiness and part of what success feels to me is this quietness right now. I love that. So in order to do that, you have to make sure that what you're doing in your business is working and it's valuable of your time. So it was so awesome to look at email analytics because I learned, because I do those things, like I told you, opt-ins for different events that I offer people. It taught me what's working, what's no longer working. And I thought my mobile salon was my biggest opt-in. And guess what? It's not. It has some competitor opt-ins on my website. And I would have not known that if I wouldn't have made the big mistake of having those bad emails on my automation. And so now you're probably asking, okay, so this is all good, but what happened to your business, Celeste? How did this affect your numbers? So let's talk about the numbers. Let's keep it real AF up in here, okay? That's how we keep it here. So for my, I was noticing there's a couple of things. So first of all, my email list has grown very significantly, very fast. So what I'm doing is working, which I'm glad. I also have noticed is there's some opt-ins that are not working as well. So I will be removing those, not making an announcement, just taking them off. I will keep my workflows going. And what that means to you is that if you ever create a freebie, keep it active. Okay. This is the reason why I don't change Flowdesk, because if I changed, I had to change all these freaking things. And that's too much work on every single thing that I've ever posted on Pinterest or on any website or any article that I've given out that I've been written in where I give my information. All that stuff would be gone. So rather than doing that, I just keep it active. I just no longer promote it. Okay. So if you have it opt in or you have a freebie or you have like, an email list that you're starting to grow and now you want to switch it up to something new, that's something you can do. You can keep it active, but no longer promote it. Start your new thing. It doesn't have to be that complicated. That's what I'm doing. So it was just so interesting to learn. For my subscribers, I feel bad, but I also think it helped me because it tells them that I'm real. And the second thing that I think really helped me as well is that I do email pretty often. And if you've been part of my email list, you probably have noticed that I've been doing it more often because I am learning new things and I'm learning how to keep it simple. I no longer care that my emails are not going to look like Sephora's emails. I care that my emails look like mine, that it looks like it comes from me. I care that every time I go into your inbox, I'm putting value in your life. I'm not doing it just to waste your time. I know your time is valuable. So with that intention, I think it really helped me to retain. So I've learned that there's some people that just want certain freebies and opt out right away. And it's just been such a beautiful lesson to look at your analytics, look at your numbers in your email list. What you think it's working may not be working at all for you. And what I thought was working was the opposite. So it was just such a beautiful lesson of this horrible mistake that I've learned. And I really want to give a huge shout out. She's not selling anything, okay? So nobody come at me like, oh, here she goes promoting. Nope, I'm not promoting because she's not selling anything. And you can't opt into this even if you wanted to, unless you're part of it. So I am part of Amy Porterfield. It's like we've had her on the podcast. She's a multiple like millions per dollar business. Okay. And I'm so honored to have had her in the podcast and interviewed her. And I'll put in the show notes if you want to listen to the episode. It's so valuable. I'm part of her Digital Course Academy and I'm going through it again. And I just finished her, like List Builder Society, which I was an affiliate for as well. I'm not here to promote. I'm just telling you what's going on with this. This is what started this whole process of me checking the back end of my email list and seeing the workflows and seeing the behind the scenes of my subscribers and seeing what is working and not working. It just literally started by her saying, everybody, you guys should be starting your email list and I want you to create a freebie. Her saying, everybody start your email list and, like she was always telling us that, but, some people are still like, in the beginning stages. They're not at the stage where I'm at. But just for her to say, create a freebie is where it got me down to this rabbit hole of checking my email workflows and my opt-ins and seeing what's working and all these beautiful things. And I was like, wow, this is amazing. Because sometimes we think like we need to spend more money to make more money. And that's not the case. Sometimes what we really need to do is utilize the products and the things that we already have in our business to see what else can we learn from it and how can we make it better. And also, like, I think for me, because I'm always constantly willing to learn more, and I seriously have a love for tech. I love technology. AI and I have a complicated relationship, but technology, I love it. I love how it can simplify things. And I make mistakes too. And just because you automate your business, it's a freaking complete lie that things will never go wrong. I think it was so much fun, like watching her, because she had like tech issues yesterday, and just like not fun, like also funny, but fun and like, wow, like how she handled it with grace. Some people didn't like it. Some people were upset because there was tech issues, but it's just like the reality of business that it doesn't matter whether you're like making multiple millions of dollars a year in your business, or you're just starting out, or you're in the middle, or you're in the growth stage. Either way, you're always gonna find like tech going wrong on you. But how can that be a learning lesson, right? How can you actually learn from it? How can you grow from it? And I think that's something that really helped me with this. Like, as I'm doing the reset challenge with her right now, and other fellow Digital Course Academy members as well, is that if you're willing to open your heart and open your mind to learn something new, and to not, well, like, I already have that set up, so I'm not gonna look at it mentality. If you're willing to always stay a student and be humble, like, I think it really helps you a lot. And that's what happened with my email automation. So just because it's automated doesn't mean it's going to be perfect. So I really hope all those things really helped you. And if you haven't started your email list, I want to share with you something. I want you to think of how many times when you're on Instagram or TikTok or on Facebook, you keep seeing all these videos and photos of, here's a free thing, and look, buy this thing for make your hair perfectly hair frizz, and look at this perfect hair, and look at this, all this fucking BS of perfection being thrown at our face all the time. But the reality is that not all products work for everybody. The reality is that we are not for everybody. The reality is, like, I really feel like in the beauty industry, we forget that the beauty is individual. Like, beauty is not universal. Like, somebody may think glam makeup is the most gorgeous thing. I love glam makeup, but I also do love supernatural makeup. So it's not that I need to pick one side over the other. So I love both. And there's people that only love glam makeup, and there's people that only love natural makeup, right? There's people that may look at me and be like, oh my God, Celeste, I can't believe you don't even try and style hair over it all the time, versus me empowering my daughters that I don't want them to think that only straight hair is beautiful and style hair is beautiful, because I grew up in that generation where you went to school with straight hair. I even put a freaking, yes, I'm going to say it out loud, as a hairstylist, because remember, I wasn't a hairstylist my whole life. I put like a hot clothes iron, okay, to iron your clothes on top of my hair to make it extra smooth. I did dumb shit like that when I was young, because there was so much pressure, right? Like, we had to be this perfect little hair. Like, it had to be straight, okay? So why am I sharing this with you, and what that has to do with email? Email marketing can literally be sharing that story. And I have shared it before. And hey, I'm going to be sharing it again because it's so important, right? Like, that's what I mean. Like, sometimes we think like email marketing has to be this like salesy thing, but it can be of service. Like, sharing your stories is of service. It's sharing your services that, hey, I took this class and now I'm offering this service that's going to help you in this way. That's being of service. Selling is being of service. So don't make it like this bad thing. And, like I always promise in my emails, I'm like, you get 85% value, and then you get 15% sales. That's my promise to you. 85 value, 15 sales. So, if you like that, awesome. If you're looking for 100% free, like, no, like, that's not me. And, I always like to keep it honest and 100 in there. So I hope this episode really helps you to remember that automation is awesome, but it can have its hiccups. It can have its downfalls, and that we all make mistakes. And, it doesn't matter like if you're just starting out or you're a multiple $1 million business, like the tech headaches is going to happen to everybody. And like, it's so important to not get comfortable. So I just wanted to share like the big mistake I made and how I fixed it this week. And I am so grateful to having you a part of the community on the podcast. I do not run any ads on here or sponsorships, any paid sponsorships on this podcast. Your reviews really help me. So if you could just take the time to leave me a review here on the podcast, I would greatly appreciate it. Or just go ahead and follow that show. That supports me to continue doing this for you. Thank you so much. And I will see you back here next week. Bye, love.